Add a payment option. I don't want to pay. To complete your account, you won't be charged unless you make a purchase. Okay. So I have to pay card number. Um, card number, card number is 14.
Bapak Ibu datang kembali. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita berada di pekan kedua forum silaturahmi pengelola jurnal, yang mana memberi kesempatan kita untuk bersama-sama dalam belajar bersama terkait dengan pengelolaan jurnal. Eh, Apa yang kemudian eh, dapat kita lakukan? Pertama, di eh, forum silaturahmi pengelola jurnal ini telah dimulai saling mengundang untuk adanya editor bersama. Yang kedua adalah boleh juga kita kemudian saling memperkuat kapasitas pengelola jurnal, dan sebagaimana kita telah laksanakan dalam kaitan silaturahmi yang sebelumnya, bahwa dalam pengelolaan jurnal ini tentu saja ada hal-hal yang perlu kita kodifikasi, ya, sehingga kemudian bisa menjadi pemahaman bersama di antara kita semua. Saya backup Zoom ini, ya, dengan satu gawai yang lain, ya, sehingga kemudian kalaulah ada kendala terkait dengan ini, sehingga kemudian masih bisa terhubung dengan satu gawai yang lain. Kita menantikan Prof. Peter John Wane untuk bergabung, dan kita akan mulai. Ya, Bapak, Ibu, Saudara-saudari, Prof. Peter John masih eh, preparing meeting di Zoom-nya, sehingga begitu kemudian beliau telah bergabung, kita akan mulai eh, kegiatan kita pada eh, siang hari ini.
And you try putting it in with the number or your maybe I could direct it to the number and try. Let me go back and see if I can try it the other way.
No problem. Just put out, and you can use this mind.
I press this here, right?
Yeah, once again. Yeah, somehow Sensei, because you didn't download the Zoom.
No, I did download it. I have to Zoom. Zoom's here. I just did it. Zoom. I just downloaded it.
No
There,
problem.
Zoom right here. Maybe it's just
Connection maybe? But just go ahead.
okay, so
You can
I'll
have
just share.
mine.
Okay. Hello. Okay.
You can unmute Wekke.
Okay. This mic.
Okay. Test, test. Wait a moment.
Yeah. How do you get that?
No, no, no,
No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How do you, mic?
Yeah, to turn on and to turn off the
Okay.
audio. Let's start Sensei. Bapak, Ibu, Saudara-saudari, Prof. Peter John Wane telah bersama-sama dengan kita pada siang hari ini dan kita akan mulai acara kita. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Prof. Peter, so our topic of discussion for today is about the journal management. So let us have some kind information or any kind of sharing session for this one. What is actually the practical journal management that the editor could learn?
For so we're talking about practical applications for
Turn on, turn on.
Okay, so practical applications for journals. Basically, we are for all journals require certain formats, and they also have limitations on the number of words and how we should actually submit our articles. So whenever we are applying to some journal or trying to write a paper, we should usually try to meet those specifications. If they be the APA, American Psychology Association, or any other specifications that the journals are using. So we need to try and also make sure that our writing is concise, no matter what journal you use. The conciseness of how well you write and organize your article is strongly looked at in determining whether they are going to consider it for a journal. Editors use various applications to help them analyze articles that they actually receive. So they actually expect that the people publishing or putting their papers forward have actually used grammar check functions or other devices to actually check their paper before they actually turn it in, and so that the editors do not actually have to do that themselves. So these are things we need to prepare for when we're actually going to be preparing for a journal.
Yeah, thank you. Can you turn off again once more? Okay, Sensei. So the introduction from Sensei, or the first saying from Sensei, that actually journal should, as the management, there is guidelines for authors, and then on the guidelines there should be style of reference, for example, APA, but the reference in the world, not only APA, we have MLA, we have Harvard, we have Chicago style. So whatever you have it, yeah, you follow the style, existing style right now, or you make it a new one. It is no matter as long as there is a guidance for us to the authors to write the paper. The second one, writing concise. So it is by training, and uh, not only once, or not only we listen once, but in the same times we have opportunity to learn together, train and make it as the skill of writing. The third one, yeah, through all the management of the journal, it kind of science communications. So what will we go together? The journal provide opportunity for publications. Journal provide opportunity to communicate in between researcher and the public. There is a journal, so the journal editor have opportunity to bridge between researcher and the public. Yeah, another question, Sensei. What is the condition, or what is your experience in Japanese style, or academically in the university in Japan about the journal management? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. I could just use it this way.
No, no, because you make it what? No need.
That did well. It's only touching.
Yeah, go ahead, Sensei.
I'll just go ahead. Okay. So the question was, what was the question one more time? Just tell me what the question was. Yeah.
Yeah, turn off the
Mic here. Yeah. I put it operating.
Sensei, so what is the practical, or what is your experience during the journal management in higher education in Japan, or Japan university style, or practically on journal management?
Okay, thank you. Okay, basically, an editor or the reviewer, the editor will basically, when they get their paper from the person who is trying to apply and get their paper published, will actually um, act by giving the paper to reviewers. And usually we have 3 reviewers or more who actually will read through the paper, and they will try to look at it not only for the style, but also they'll look at it for the content, how logical the paper is, how we develop the purpose, and how we justify the findings of our paper based on statistical analysis of various variables that we may use to make our paper valid. So therefore, we have to try to be sure to include quantitative or qualitative data and describe this in our methodology. Clearly state why we chose one method or the other method, or even the combination of both quantitative and qualitative, which is very commonly done in many papers. So when the reviewer looks at the paper, they will basically make comments on the side of the paper, and after they finish the paper, they will make a decision whether they think the paper should be actually rewritten or whether the paper is possible to actually rewrite. In some cases, the reviewer may think that it is not possible to rewrite the paper because of the context, and they think that it will be just too difficult to actually rewrite. If they think that there are areas that are possible to rewrite or things that could be improved, they will make some suggestions and they will send that back to the author. And then the author has a chance to revise by adding additional data or clarifying some of the statistics that they actually stated in their paper that might be questioned. In this case, the author of the submission of the paper will change the paper and turn it in again. And sometimes it may even take 2 or 3 revisions. And editors will usually be patiently working with this. And it's for this reason that it can take up to 9 months or so to get a paper actually published in the journal for the following year or for the year that they're actually publishing it. So this process is very long. It's a process we have to go through, but if we're patient and work through it, we can get a high quality paper that can be published and recognized by the academia throughout the world. So these are the things that are basically common practices of editors and reviewers in trying to get journals. And likewise, they are also the same way that we deal with thesis papers in graduate schools like Tohoku University. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Sensei. So the idea is about the process, patient and time. Yeah, so process, patient and time, PPT. So during the production of the article, we have a process of submission, review, editor. So there are 3 steps. After submission, review, and editorial, there will be another language editing, and after that will be published. So there are steps, and then Sensei said that at least, for example, 9 months. Yeah, you can have a fast track, but somehow something fast, yeah, not as usual, but somehow if you very fast, so you can control the speed, and then it will be an accident. So don't go too fast. In the same times, we have opportunity to make it slow. There is another fast food, but there is a slow food. You can choose whatever you want, but make sure there is a high quality paper acceptable by the world academia. Okay. The third question, Sensei, because somehow we are going with the young scholars or young academician that you already see throughout the Asia. What is your advice? Because you already a senior member of academia with a 40 years experience, and then somehow if in this forum there is someone or any friend of us is the young scholar. So what is your advice for the young scholars or the young academia in terms of journal management or processing of the publications?
There. Nope. That's not. Nope. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not helping. All right. My recommendation for young scholars is basically take advantage of your peers and advantage of your professors who you're working with. Basically, as you're writing your paper, say you only get the abstract, your purpose and your methodology completed. Show those parts of the paper to your advisor or the person you're
Yeah, start from the beginning.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, my advice to young writers in academia, in colleges, is basically that you need to work with your advisor and with your peers. And with they are the main people you are going to be working with while you are developing your thesis. So these people will give you various advice while you are working through your paper. For example, they might have you ask you for the first half of your paper before they get the second half of the paper. An advisor usually wants to continually progress how much you're moving through your paper by every 3 to 6 months. And that way they can help you correct any mistakes or adjust your research in any way that is necessary. So, for example, if you've gotten a very good research review, and also you've done your methodology, you know how it's going to be organized. If you have written up that section of the paper already, it's good to have the advisor check over that before you actually go into the results and the discussion section and write up that section. Then when you have finished your results and discussion, you add that on to your introduction and your methodology. And then your advisor can actually help you with the second part and see how that connects with your methodology that you wrote, and make sure that everything is logically organized throughout the paper. Sometimes your advisor may have a request for you to move some of your information from one part of your paper to another part of the paper because it is more appropriate. For example, if you are trying to list some past research and you introduce the past research inside your results or discussion section and do not discuss it inside your introduction, the advisor will probably ask you to move that to the introduction part, because the introduction is where we actually introduce all of the past research that we are going to be looking at and comparing, and also justifying our research with. So, and finally, citations. They will probably be checking your citations very carefully. Sometimes you can use an application that will always make sure that any citation that you have inside your text is listed inside the reference section. Sometimes people will list a citation inside the text, but they forget to put it inside the reference section. So we always have to double check the citations and make sure they're in the reference section, because this is another area that editors and reviewers look at very, very closely. So if you will work with your advisor, work with your peers inside your research room, have them also read through the paper. The more people that read your paper and give you advice, and the more you're willing to be able to change and just change the paper so that all people will be able to understand it better, the higher the likelihood that it will be applicable and understandable for the wide community of the research world in journals. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Sensei. Can you unmute?
Yeah, you're right. It's over there.
Yeah, okay, Sensei. So somehow there is a word over there about citations. So we can ask for help for a machine, but somehow the machine should work properly under the guidance or under the help of not the help but the driving through a person or a human. So somehow because the first questions is about APA, about reference style. So citation, make a citations through the style that we use or as the guidelines from the journal. So what do you think, Sensei, about the citation, or could you explore more about this one, the issue of citation and plagiarism on these questions? Go ahead.
Okay, I got it. Fixed it. Okay. All right. Now I'm getting it. Okay. Basically, we need to be careful that the citations that we have are correctly representing the work of the prior authors from whom we actually took the research from. So what you have to do is you have to summarize. You have to summarize very clearly what the other author said and use it in your own words. And then at the end of that, you would have your parentheses and the citation with the author. This is the summarization. Now, if you are getting a direct quote and you are using exact same words that that author actually said, then we have to put a double quote on both sides, and we have to put the location that we got that citation from with the page number. It's very important that we are very careful to use the double quotes for the direct citations, and for some summarizations, use the parentheses at the end inside the text. Also the other thing is plagiarism was talked about. Plagiarism is actually using a large number of words that somebody used and not double quoting it. So please be careful in this area. And also in this area, one area that is not clearly stated many times is self-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism is when we are taking our past research that we did and we use the same exact words and then we put it inside another research paper. If we take a whole paragraph from past research, we copy it, we paste it into our next research paper because it's in the same area or category. But if you do that, you need to put double quotes there and then say, this is from my research, Wanner, W-A-N-N-E-R, comma, and then put the year and the location where you got it. Because you need to give credit to yourself. You need to give credit to yourself for your past research, just like you need to give credit to other researchers for their past research. So avoid self-plagiarism also. These would be my comments on plagiarism.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Sensei. Somehow that
You go. I just muted right now. Mute, right? I did mute.
yeah, somehow Sensei there is a self-citation there is by the end of this answer, you said about self-citation, and then you advise not to use this self-citation, avoid self-citation. Could you explore more this one about the?
Okay. I'm not saying avoid self-citation. Many researchers refer to their research from the past. I'm just saying that if you do use some research from your past, for example, I'm going to give an example. I do studies on bilingualism, and I actually study my children. So in the methodology section, I might write the ages of my children, who they are, what type of style the parents use for talking to the children, one parent, one child methodology. And I might have that information in this research and another research, but be talking about another area. But in terms of methodology, I'm talking about the same people, the same type of situation. So what I would do, preferably, is to somehow change the word order and introduce my children, who would be the subjects. I would introduce the methodology that is being used. I would explain it in a different way, and then I would put the parentheses and refer to myself inside the parentheses. So just be sure that you limit your self-citations. If you have a second paper and it has 50% of self-citations, definitely that's way too many. Maybe 5% maximum you should have self-citations from another paper. But because self-citations are important sometimes to build the database and to justify your past research for moving forward, why you're actually doing this current new research. So sometimes you need to revert back to the past. And many times that comes from your own research. So this would be my advice to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sensei. Not to avoid actually self-citation, but make it in the context. The context of self-citation to show the readers about what is the past work, or what is the past publication that we did if we want to cite it. And then it might be to make it not dominant to ourself, but Sensei said that he likely to make like 5% of self-citation. Yeah, but again and again, there is a context of this action or of this word, because self-citation need in the context of showing authors that there are publication in the past with this kind of topic, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the next question, Sensei. Somehow, there is an issue about the name order. What is the practical, or what is the situation in Japanese culture or Japanese higher education practically about the word, the order of the author? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I'm on unmute now, I think. Okay. All right. As far as the author is concerned, we have when you do your resume or when you're applying for other jobs, usually the first author is the most important.
Go ahead,
So,
go ahead.
That is on.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So basically, the more first author articles that you actually produce yourself, the better for your resume or for your review. So now you can have second author and third author. You can have more authors. Nowadays, it is very common that we have more than one author for a research paper. And so therefore, doing research with other people is also very good. It is part of our publications. It is part of our publications. But whenever you put a paper forward to be reviewed by a reviewer or the editor, you always have to check with the other authors and try to put the percentage of work that is put into the paper in the order of the authors. In other words, say that one author does 50% of the paper, then that would be the main author. The second author, if they do 35% of the paper, that would be the second author. And say the third person does 15% of the paper, they would be listed as the third author. So the authors with the most effort and put the most work into research should be the first author. And then following on down with the scaling it to the percentages of work that the authors do. And all authors should read the paper before it is submitted to the journal. It shouldn't be just one author. The first author revises the paper and then sends the paper off to the journal. If it's all three authors should read that paper in the final version also and send it back, because this interaction between the three authors is what helps build the paper into a better paper, and they act as reviewers or peers for themselves. So this is my advice on the word order, not word order, but the listing of the author names in terms of order. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Can you turn off? Okay. Thank you, Tente. Yeah. So you already.
It's off, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you, Sensei, for the explanation about the author order. So the most work for those who are in authors' names, the listed name should work together. And then for those who work mostly, should the first name, the second name, and the last name. So make sure that the paper is for the authors who are listed in the paper should communicate and read together for the paper. It is not how to say forbidden. It is forbidden to put the name of a day, but there is no contributions to the paper. So everyone should make sure there is a contribution over the paper. Okay, so we already discussed about the management. We already discussed about how to check the content, how the peer review, how the citation, self-plagiarism, author guidelines, and then one more thing, Sensei, about the affiliation. Yeah, so how the affiliation itself in the Japanese practical higher education, somehow I see the paper on Japanese researcher, they put double or triple affiliation, or what do you think about this? Go ahead, Sensei.
Okay. In terms of affiliation, usually you will put your main affiliation. For example, I have Tohoku University is my main affiliation, my full-time job. If you are usually if you have a main affiliation where you work full time, you do not put your part-time affiliations. You don't list them. I have a couple part-time affiliations, but I don't list those usually on my research. Only my main university. Now there are people who work part-time jobs at 2 or 3 universities, and they don't have a full-time job. So in those cases, usually the person may choose whichever affiliation they want. They may choose one of the colleges that they want to have, or they could, it's possible to list more than one, but it's not common. It's not common. Usually we'll try to list the one main college that we identify ourselves with. Now, or the second option is if you work at 3 or 4 different part-time colleges part-time, you will list your location where you live, and you don't list a specific affiliation. But it looks better in many cases to list at least one of the universities you're working at. So now, however, if you are not working at any universities and all you do is research and you don't really have an affiliation, then you usually just put your location, where you're located. If I'm just doing research at home and I'm not working anywhere else, then I would just Sendai, Japan, because I wouldn't have an affiliation. So I'd be putting, but this is very uncommon usually, because all of us usually have at least one college or affiliation that we are actually with. So these are general guidelines or general rules that we follow for listing the affiliations that we have.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Sensei. We have dozens issues or dozen topics that we already discussed today, and then we are grateful that Sensei could join us, even though that we are sitting down here in Matsushima, one quote-unquote village here in the greater area of Sendai or Miyagi Prefecture. And then that's the first part of our discussion. Before we end our session for this week, yeah, of the editorial empowerment, I to invite Sensei once more to let us know what is the initiative of BOL. Yeah, we will have this year one program that we already announced to Dalat, and then it might be we are still preparing for the last week of August 2026 during the summer. So summer school in Japan for the next year. It might be we have opportunity to join together for the next year. So it might be we could arrange 1 year ahead of the event, and then we could prepare. So I invite Sensei once more.
Okay, thank you very much. Balsamo Outreach for Learning and Teaching has continually done these events in Japan and various other countries. We welcome you to join any of our events so that you can actually contribute to the research in the areas that we are actually covering. Most of our events are interdisciplinary conferences. Otherwise, we do have some that are specific, such as language teaching, which will be up in Dalat in December. But we welcome you to join whichever conference is most likely appropriate. The interdisciplinary conference is probably the most general and easy to join, which Dr. Wekke will have in August of 2026 here in Sendai again. And also you would have a chance to come here to Matsushima and see the place that we're visiting today. Basically, we hope to have more than just the conference in August. Next year, we're still confirming if we'll have another one. Most likely, we'll have another one in December up in Dalat. Again, if you want to try and get to Vietnam. And also, there will be a number of seminars in Indonesia. So if you follow the Bolt website, which Dr. Wekke had mentioned earlier, please check that website out. There are many places you can go to seminars that are actually in Indonesia, which are all concentrating through English to discuss various areas of research and collaboration that are taking place with various universities. So let's all work together and let's all collaborate and share our ideas and move forward so that our research can help others and also that we can learn more from other people. So please join us with Balsamo Outreach for Learning and Teaching and other events that are available for you to develop your research. That's all. Thank you. Go on. Come on. It's not going off. Right there, right?
Yeah, thank you, Sensei. It seems we are in the end of our session for the second week of Forum Silaturahmi Pengelola Jurnal, Jurnal Editor Forum. Yeah, and then we already learned a lot from Sensei about this one, and it might be take to considerations. So even though that Sensei already come up with the idea from Japanese higher education system, but it might be we should codify and make quote unquote book as the reference for us to work as the journal editor. Thank you very much for everyone already make our session this week happen. Even that from Sensei and I and Akiko, we are in Matsushima, taking sightseeing here in Matsushima in the summertime. But I would like to thanks to Sensei and Akiko, even that during the sightseeing, we stopped somewhere else here in the coffee shop to do these conversations. And then it might be a good one to see the possibilities for the next week of our program. One more things, we invite you to join us for the learning forum on the editorial journal forum. Yeah, it might be we will have a lot of things to do. We will learn together and try our best to codify or to written together about this practical and make it our journal is better, and better. Thank you very much for everyone. And then for those who are Muslim, we will end our this session by reciting Hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sensei, and thank you.